Hello, my name is Cameron and I'll be doing my presentation on Bluetooth technology. Bluetooth technology is a technology that makes use of radio frequencies to share data over short distances. It's used quite commonly with things like Bluetooth headphones to receive data from your phone in the form of audio, and then the headphones will translate that and then give you your sound output so you can listen to your things like music. It uses a fairly low power radio wave at the 2.45 gigahertz ISM radio band, and development started in 1989 at a company called Ericsson Mobile in Sweden, and they didn't have their first workable solution until 1997. You can find Bluetooth in lots of places these days. It's in computers, it's in computer peripherals, it's in your cell phones, it's in your video game controllers, audio devices like headphones, like I was saying earlier. Smart home devices, a lot of those use Bluetooth to send and communicate data between each other, printers, and in a lot of other places. Bluetooth is currently managed by the Bluetooth Special Interest Group, also known as SIG. And SIG is made up of various telecommunications and tech companies that have a vested interest in the growth and management of Bluetooth. So SIG manages the standards, the development, the specification, as well as protecting the trademark surrounding Bluetooth. So, now that we've talked about what Bluetooth actually is, on to the more important part of how can we implement Bluetooth functionalities into an Android application. First thing you're going to need to do is go over to your Android manifest and get some user permissions involved. A few of them have to do with the actual Bluetooth permissions itself. This is what allows you to make use of the scanning and connection functionality, as well as viewing visible devices and things surrounding Bluetooth in general. And then also we're going to need to get permissions for some location functionality. And this is just something that's required to make use of Bluetooth. Once you have your permissions, you're going to want to create a Bluetooth adapter, and this is what we're going to work with in order to call methods that involve the actual Bluetooth. From here, what I have is when this fragment is created and this view is created, the first thing I want to do is check to see if Bluetooth is even supported on this device. So what you're going to do is you're going to get the Bluetooth adapter and check if it is null, and if it is, then it's not supported on the device. If it's not, then we're going to initialize it and get the adapter and send out a message that yes, Bluetooth is supported on this device. And then we're going to check if Bluetooth is enabled and send a little toast message saying whether it's turned on or turned off. From here, something else you'll want to have is this activity result override. So what we're doing is on activity result, we're going to get back a result code of what happened. And this is just to intercept that, check what the result code is, and then output a little message. So for example, one of the activities is going to enable Bluetooth. So I'm just going to check if the result code is okay. And if it is, that means Bluetooth got enabled. Another is going to be to check when I'm enabling discovery mode, whether or not discovery mode got enabled, and just output a proper message to show what the results for that were. Then what you're going to want to do is give your buttons some functionality. The first one we'll look at is the functionality for turning on Bluetooth. So what you're going to do is when the button is clicked, we want to check if the Bluetooth adapter is enabled. And then if the is enabled is whether or not Bluetooth is turned on your phone or not. If it's not turned on, or if it is turned on, we're just going to say a message that it is turned on. And if it's not turned on, we're going to check the permissions on the phone. And the permissions are just what you see when you download a new app saying, we would like to request permissions to access these certain functionalities. So we're going to check if we even have access to the user's Bluetooth connection functionality. And if we don't, we're going to run this method over here that will bring us down here. And all this is doing is this is checking if we have the permission again. If we don't have the permission, we're going to make a little dialog alert box for the user to see, asking if we can use this. And if they say yes, then we're just going to go and request this permission from the phone. And once we have that permission, we can start working with our Bluetooth. So if we do have our permission and everything is working properly, then we want to create an intent and then use the Bluetooth adapter to make a request to enable Bluetooth functionality. And then we want to start for result and launch that intent so that it will enable the Bluetooth. To turn it off, it's a little simpler. We're doing a very similar thing to check if it's enabled. If it's disabled, we're just going to say it is already disabled. Then we need to check for our permissions again, make sure we have the proper permissions. If we have the proper permission, all we're doing is Bluetooth adapter.disable, and that will turn off the Bluetooth. The next functionality we'll take a look at is the making the device discoverable for other devices. This is just how when you have a Bluetooth speaker, when you hold the Bluetooth button, that's what this is doing. It's just making it so that other devices can see that there's a device that can be paired to. First thing we do, as usual, we'll check our permissions, make sure we have the proper permissions to use Bluetooth functionality on the phone with our app. And then we're going to check if the Bluetooth adapter is discovering. If it's not, we'll send out a message. If it is, we'll create an intent, send an action result discoverable in the intent, and then we'll say how long we want the device to be discoverable. So like when you hold in on your speaker for the Bluetooth button, it'll flash for a certain amount of time. That's how long it's discoverable. We're just setting that value here, and then we're going to start for result with that intent, and that will make our device temporarily discoverable from other devices. Then the last method we're going to do here is we're going to display what paired devices are hooked up to the phone's Bluetooth currently. To do this, again, check if Bluetooth is actually enabled. If it is, we're going to take the devices from get bonded devices, and that's just in the Bluetooth what devices are already hooked up, and we're just going to start appending onto a text view the devices one by one and have all of the devices appended on, and that's all you need to do in order to display what devices are currently connected to the phone.
So, because Android Studio doesn't have access to the Bluetooth hardware, you can't actually test Bluetooth functionality within the Android Studio emulator. You have to actually install the APK on an Android device and test it on an Android device. So that's how I'm going to be testing this. So you can see once you go into the app, you're going to see a little Bluetooth is turned off, because currently my Bluetooth is turned off up at the top there. But you can also see up at the top, it says Bluetooth is supported on this device. It's saying that because when it tried to make the Bluetooth adapter, it was successfully able to create the Bluetooth adapter and then saw my check for that and outputted that it's supported. So if I click on turn on, it's going to ask me for permissions, because currently it does not have access to the permissions required to access the Bluetooth hardware. So if I click allow permissions, now it has access to all of my Bluetooth hardware and is able to make use of it. And so if I click on turn on again, I can allow to use Bluetooth. It's going to turn on Bluetooth. And now my Bluetooth is turned on up at the top in my little settings bar there. And if I turn off, it's going to disable Bluetooth. And then if I go up to the top, Bluetooth is disabled again. So while you have Bluetooth on, you're able to make it discoverable for 240 seconds. And this will allow other devices to find your device when they're searching for Bluetooth devices. And you can also view the paired, and that's all of the devices that at some point have been hooked up to my phone and have been paired with my phone. And if I turn it off, that's just going to clear that. And you can see while Bluetooth is off, I don't have access to the paired devices.